Okay, so this is a short that I posted on my channel. I don't know, maybe several days to a couple weeks ago. Take a look. The locks look beautiful and full, and you love your retightenings and you worship that beautiful grid, or so you may say. It's beautiful. Just because you're going along and your hair is looking great does not mean 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now that what you are doing and the way you are stressing your hair is going to be able to continue. I can promise you, I don't care what anyone says, over 95% of people who have this kind of hairstyle, who fail to intervene, who don't take measures to take things into their own hands and to give their hair the extra support that it needs, I can promise you that you will not be able to go the distance with your Sisterlocks indefinitely. I can promise you. I don't care how full and beautiful your hair is right now. It ain't gonna stay that way if you sit up there and keep doing the same thing you've been doing. Welcome to Tunisia's Locs, Beauty Tips, and Potpourri, the channel where we get it all in. You can also learn more about the I Am Melanin Magic brand. Thank you for stopping by. Meet James, who on January the 19th, 2023, decided to try the I Am Melanin Magical Hair Growth Serum. He spent many years covering his hair with a hat. He and his dad had the same kind of patterned hair loss, and for many years, he simply could not grow hair in the scalpy areas. He often said that in the back, his hair was straight bald. That was until March, when he decided to give I Am Melanin Magic a try. It had been a long journey, but after using the Magical Hair Growth Serum over an 8-week period, look at the results he was able to get in just 8 short weeks. A major accomplishment. The before and after pictures detail just the beginning of the growth after using the Magical Hair Growth Serum 5 days a week. When you take a look at the side of his hair, you can see the hair has grown significantly thicker and looks much healthier than it did in the beginning. All of this short-term progress with an investment of only 8 short weeks is very amazing, but it only represents one of the stories that the Magical Hair Growth Serum has in terms of the testimonies. Many others are having these results and more with consistent use of this and now our new Fearless Follicles. What I want to draw your attention to is some commentary on that short, because you all know my mission is to bring you quality information, to arm you with knowledge, and to put you in a position where you can do this thing that I have been talking about since I laid voice on this channel, which is to help you to understand that you have to inspect what you expect, and to also help you to understand that this Sisterlocks journey, Microlocks journey, whatever the journey is for these tiny little beautiful, abundant, and luxurious little locks, is an at-risk style, and that there are certain things that you need to know so that you can make certain decisions that you are no doubt going to have to make, whether you have to make them now or whether you have to make them later, but that you must become an active participant in your own rescue. No one is going to rescue. No one is going to come for you and scoop you up and take you to safety. You are the one that you have been waiting for. It is time to get up out of that structure that is no longer serving you, if you can resonate with what I'm saying, and to move towards something that is going to give you a greater amount of ease and can most likely, almost certainly as far as I'm concerned, extend your small, tiny lock, little lock, whatever you want to call it, journey. This style that you have that is so beautiful, like the one you see here, it's not designed to take you into decades and decades. It simply is not. But I can guarantee you, when you signed up for it, you had that expectation. I can guarantee you, when you signed up for it, you thought it was going to be a lifestyle. Well, it ain't. Let's go ahead and let's dig. So in response to that, I just looked at a couple of the comments. I haven't had a chance to read everything, but the first two hit me like a brick wall. They hit me because they are very substantive, because they represent the truth. The first one, Raise Your Vibration 2229. Shout out to you, my sister. This is so true. I have 2 friends who have Sisterlocks and have had them for years and warned me about this because of the problems they ran into with their hair. My concern is, why is this not being talked about? Why is there not a campaign to raise awareness? And why is this being pushed under the carpet when people are losing their hair, when people are being mortified, terrified, and horrified at what is going on with their hair? Why, when we invest into a particular style, do we not, as the constituency, deserve to have the light of awareness shown on things that are a concern and are a result of the very practices that these people are being trained to implement in the name of that style? This is problematic. So she's talking about folks who had issues for some years, after some years. Now, if you go back and refer to the interview I more recently did with Yolanda Franklin, you're going to see that she began to notice it way early on. And she actually, I believe, has had her Sisterlocks for about 4.5 or so years, maybe close to 5. But she began to see the beginnings of this very early on. And I stress that because everybody's situation is different. You might have that type of, hair that is very resilient, that bounces back naturally. You might feel that you are under the umbrella of protection because you don't have thin, low density hair, or you may just feel like you're still rocking because you can't see the early signs of micro trauma that your hair is carrying around. So you might feel safe, but I'm putting these videos out here to help you to understand that you better take action, and you better get real serious real soon about trying to examine where you're going with your hair care. If this is something you don't mind taking out a few years down the road when trouble sets in, or if you have the expectation that this is a style that you can wear long term, you cannot rely on the very people that are representing the brand, nor can you rely on, whether it's Microlocks, Sisterlocks, or anybody else, nor can you rely on the very people who are pocketing money from the styling of your hair, because their lives depend on what it is that they have taken up as a responsibility to do, which is to do your retighteners. You can't blame them for that. It's a conflict of interest. So you, as the party who goes and sits down in the chair, have to be mindful of what's going on. Let's listen to the second comment. Agree. I'm 2 years in. This is Paige G 2011. Thank you so much, Paige. Agree. I'm 2 years in and have several married locks in front of my hair. What do I tell you? I tell you, once the locks start having to be married, whether they tell you or not, you already know you're in troubled waters. And if they don't tell you, still waters run deep. If they don't tell you and you got married locks in your head, who knows how many married locks you have in your head? And when you ask, they may tell you that, the lock was getting a little thin, it needed a little support. But what you need to understand, where there's smoke, there's fire. And where you have one area that has hair loss, 9 times out of 10, systemic hair loss is getting ready to visit you on top of your head in various areas. And you don't have to wait until that happens. She said, last retie from my consultant left me with actual scabs and soreness. We no longer have to endure pain. We no longer have to believe that because we dealt with the trauma of hair growing up, and our grandparents and our other family members and the other women in our families that did our hair, they didn't know any better, and they combed it in a way to get the kinks out without respect for the fact that our hair is very fragile and actually needs a more tender, loving touch. We can't blame them anymore. We're living in 2024 today and we're still comfortable with pain. We're still comfortable with struggle love, struggle hair, struggle life, struggle work. It's time out for that. It is time for you to step into your personal power, to look at the data and to move accordingly. Yes, as the Bible says, pick up your bed and walk. Okay, it's time to do that. Scabs and soreness, I've had some of you tell me for 2 weeks you were taking Motrin or you were taking Advil or Tylenol. I've had you to tell me that you left out of there and you cried. Why is it that the person that is doing your hair is abusing you? And why is it that you're sitting there taking it? Let me give you some food for thought. Let me help you to understand that I can promise you, if you're putting up with that, there are other areas of your life where you're also being abused as well. I want you to think on that. If you're allowing the person that is doing your hair, who's supposed to be taking care of your hair, to love on you in a way that hurts, I can promise you that there are other people in your life who are quote unquote loving on you in a way that hurts. I can promise you. That's some food for thought. You might not want to admit it, but when you can't speak up for yourself, when you can't pick up your bed and walk, when you can't vote with your feet, when you don't have enough self-esteem to take charge of a situation and to make the tough decisions, to do what you need to do for your God-given health, it's something worth examining. That's the dog again. Let's hope she stops. Here's a third one. So true. I was just over the 3-year mark when I noticed thinning. You know what's interesting about the more recent comments? Is that I'm hearing more and more from women, from those of you who are a lot earlier into your journeys. I made it 13 years before I made the choice. Okay, and y'all see how my hair looks. I was not suffering because I took every precaution, down to doing the whole front part of my head. Okay, I don't have the thinning edges, and I most certainly don't have them now, but I can promise you that's where I was headed. And the groundwork was being laid. The micro trauma was about to become full scale, full on systematic hair loss. Systemically, I'm speaking, and I'm so serious. I am here to urge you to take a closer look at what you have taken for granted, and to understand that you are not exempt. You must inspect what you expect. You must stop putting your hair care destiny in the hands of someone else. You must take corrective action. In fact, it becomes right action. You must take right action, and you must start to question what it is that you continually go to do to your hair that doesn't feel good. And you must start holding your locticians, those who are, I was going to say reminiscent of trauma, those who are perpetuating something that within themselves they know is problematic. The same as the loctician who told Miss Cynthia Franklin when she said, is this possible to hurt some people's hair, when she was making the decision to get the Sisterlocks? And the loctician said, it helps some people's hair grow. It was a very interesting choice of words. Everybody's complicit in this if we don't speak up. I can promise you, you may not be carrying the torch for this right now because you may have all your hair. And maybe you don't sit in my position having heard the heartbreaking stories from the women that I talk to every day. So maybe you are far removed from it. Maybe you can still look in the mirror and see your hair and it looks fine. But that does not absolve you of a responsibility to not become complicit, to not ask certain questions and not to expect, to ask certain questions and to not be fully deserving of a response that makes sense. It's up to you at the very least to begin raising awareness with your loctician, even if you're not having this problem. We are on the front lines. We are the grassroots. We have to start to question the things that don't make sense and to question the things that feel painful. I want to give a shout out to A Beautiful Journey, who gave us that comment, who's experiencing thinning at 3 years. I want to give a comment and a thanks and a shout out to Paige G 2011 at under 2 years, and talked about that she has several married locks in the front. Isn't that where the initial trauma and the cycle starts? Right in the front, where everybody can see. Typically, these are high stress areas. This is another high stress area. This is another high stress area. Don't wait until catastrophe and trauma visit you. Make the decisions right now to find out what you need to find out and to become knowledgeable, whether you're trying to shift to knotted locks or not. That is not my job, okay? I'm shifting for me. You have to make the decision for you, or I shifted for me. You have to make the decision for you. What I am here to encourage you to do is to thine own self be true, and to look at something that you know is problematic, to look at a set of practices that you know deep within you haven't felt good, and if they didn't feel bad, they may not feel good in your soul. It's just, you just have a sense that this is not going to go the distance. You're with Tanisha Ali of the I Am Melanin Magic brand. Tanisha's Locks, Beauty Tips, and Potpourri. Please reach out here on the channel or give me a call at 678-438-6442 to share your story or to get some insight into this. Continue to watch the channel if you're interested in coming on the channel to share some of what has become a very trying time for you as you look at hair loss, whether it be mild, moderate, or severe. Please reach out. The information is in the description, and I will be talking to you soon.
If you are not using I Am Melanin Magic hair oil, then what are you using?
Hey guys, so I started using this oil called I Am Melanin Magic since February of this year, and check out the new growth. Like, it's insane. Not only did it help with my new growth, but it smells amazing too.
See the dramatic improvements Tanisha has made after not having hair around her edges for 3 years. Tanya's hair had been like this for almost 20 years, and while getting injections. Her doctor said it was scarred and would never grow back. After 4 weeks of using I Am Melanin Magic, this is what she looked like. I Am Melanin Magic did this to Danette's hair after a short time. Hi, I'm the creator of the I Am Melanin Magic hair and skincare brand. My vision has always been to develop a line of products that meets the unique needs of melanated people. The I Am Melanin Magic hair oil is our premier product. It is the leading high-end supplement for your mane.
It reduces breakage, promotes growth, and can be used on all hair types and looks, from straightened hair and microlocks to wigs and protective styles. It's antifungal, antibacterial, and anti-funk, so you know you're protected.
It softens and conditions your hair, and it's anti-frizz too.
This really is all you need. It's rich with antioxidants, loaded with growth-promoting ingredients. Look at the growth of my hair. The proof is in the product. Need I say more? Don't delay. Purchase yours today.
I Am Melanin Magic, and so are you.